yourself, don't you? Come here. Come here. Come here. I got you. Come here. Come here. Come here, my baby. Come here. Come here. Oh. Oh. Why are you fighting me? Come here. Oh. Oh. Daddy's got you. It's all right. I know. I know. Children, aren't they the greatest? We're gonna dump some of the gravel over here, try to get it level as possible. Honestly, I put it over on that side. Yeah. There you go. I like what's happening here. Progress is being made. I guess I'm gonna get all this stuff sorted out. Try to remember how to read, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, so there's not much light here, but we have the structural frame part set up on it. We're gonna have to bring in some more fill to try to bring out this end. That end's not too bad, but this end needs a lot of work. But there it is. And unfortunately, she's gonna get shipped outside because, like I said, we have so many projects that we need to do. And working out of a one-bay garage, that's some of the difficulties you face. And I want to try to keep it, keep it as rust-free as possible and not let it get too deteriorated from sitting outside. But it's one of those deals that kind of happens. Probably what I'll end up doing too is I'll probably end up rolling it back in here during the summer months or whatever, if I ever decide to start tinkering with it again. But there's a lot of projects, like I said, that need to get done, and it's hard to do stuff out of a one-bay garage when you got the project car taking up that one bay. So that's kind of why it's getting the boot. But I'm sorry, all right? Don't be upset. She's upset. Yeah, she's gonna be mad at me. Oh well, it is what it is. Lottery! There we go. Oh. Well, there you have it. She is tucked into, unfortunately, her new home. You need some budget floor pans for your hot rod. You're not sure what you want to do? Well, today I have a solution that may or may not be slightly illegal, depending on how you acquire said floor pans. But either way, we slap them in and we get the job done. You ever, like, you're thinking about a project in your head and you stop and look at something and you're thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, that won't be that bad. And then you kind of like revisit that project and realize, oh, that's significant. That's not too far behind. And what's that over there? Oh, another hole full of daylight. Huh. I don't quite remember it being that bad. I guess that's what happens when it's been, too long. But yeah, that does tend to happen. So we'll fix that. We have a solution for that. Okay. Floor pans in. That one looks hideous. I mean, if it wasn't known on the internet that I'm a hack artist, well, now you know. This time on Boneyard Revivals, we are going to be identifying and reading RPO codes off of our 1985 Oldsmobile Cutlass. So first things first, let's discuss it. What is an RPO code? As I said in the intro, the RPO code is a regular production option. So what did this car roll off of the factory floor with for options? And we're talking multitude of things. We're talking engine type, transmission type, axle type, gear ratio type within the axle. We're talking interior pieces. What type of seats did it come in? What type of windows did it have, electric or hand crank? What type of stereo did it come with, AM, FM, or AFM, cassette, whatever, options like that. That whole conversation basically leads us to our next code that I wanted to go into, which is G72. The G72 code identifies as a, you ready for this? A 2.14 to 1 rear gear. This car is an 85. It was right in the middle of GM's smog era when they came out and produced a lot of these cars. We'll talk about some of the engine stuff later on in this video with the 307, that there's kind of how it all kind of comes together. GM's idea was to make the most efficient car that they could. This Oldsmobile obviously offering a 307, smaller displacement engine. They did a lot of smog stuff, like this engine originally had a smog pump on it and all that garbage to basically try to lower emissions. And with that also being said, they wanted to make them more fuel fuel economy friendly, which is the reason why this thing has 214 gears in it. Now, an interesting fact is that if you have an Oldsmobile Cutlass that is not a 442 or a hearse car, it will only have 323s or higher gearing in it. There was no Oldsmobile Cutlass, Salons, Brohams, whatever, that actually offered a rear gear lower than 323. Why was that something they did? I don't know. You think they'd throw a few more options in there. I imagine if you wanted to custom order something from the factory, you could. But most of the times, it is going to be a 323 or higher gear. This car happens to be a 214, which is the lowest, or which is the highest gear that you could put in these cars. So this thing is an absolute turd out of the hole, which I noticed that too. Even that video where we tried to do the burnout, it just was gutless out of the hole. It had nothing. And it was kind of pathetic. And now reading that VIN code, or that RPO code, I can understand why it is so gutless now.
Just don't understand them. One wheel. Even used water. Gutless.
Out back we had 214 gears. I'm still crying over the fact that there's 214 gears in this car because this thing is a dog. But we do have some plans in the works for this to help that. Getting into the 307 now, there's some information that I pulled off that I thought was interesting on this car. So obviously it's a 307 Oldsmobile. It's a 5.0 liter V8. Compression ratio from the factory, you ready for this? 8-to-1. 8-to-1 compression ratio on this 307.
Gutless.
What a dog. Apparently it had 148 wheel horsepower and it had 250 foot-pounds of torque. I was wrong on my original torque number, but these Oldsmobile motors were always known for their torque, especially like the Oldsmobile Rocket 350s. The 307s, obviously not as popular as the 350s, but still, you know, they made pretty decent torque numbers. That's what these engines were known for. Now I do have one special piece for you here that I want to share with you right at the end. I was going through the trunk of the car and found some insurance cards and some registration cards, but I also found this. So from what I was told, this car was originally from the southern part of Pennsylvania. And obviously I'm not going to disclose the previous owner's name or his address or anything like that I found on the registration cards, but that all confirmed that. There was also this piece of paper from one of the local police departments. You ready for this? So it's from the local police department down there from where this car initially came from. And it has an incident number on it, the type of incident, and the officer's name that reported on site. This car apparently was involved in a hit and run. I'll actually show it to you here. Here you go. Apparently this car was involved in a hit and run, which I almost kind of want to change the name from Black Betty to the Hit and Run Cutlass, but I'll let you guys pick that one. But that does actually explain something kind of interesting, because this whole front header piece was repainted and some of the paint's chipped away. You can actually see that this original front clip was like a bright metallic blue.
Gutless.
This time you know what? This time on Boneyard Revivals, it's our head-to-head clash of our small block Chevy cylinder heads. Compare the numbers, the facts, and we're going to pick a winner out of these three heads. And I guess let's get into the video. The most important part right here. If we don't do this, the car won't run.
Probably wouldn't run very long.
I like how we missed like
the wheel, it doesn't either way.
we missed like the most important part of like taking the plugs out and like checking like half the valves.
Hey, we checked them.
Yeah, we checked them all. Yeah.
Professional race team. We do everything the correct way. Don't
Professional.
cut any corners. Don't
Like
skimp on any money. Brand new tires every night. Top of the line, all pros. We're
In our dreams.
yeah. Every night.
That's correct. We're a professional. We're a winning race team. So what you thinking then?
I don't know.
Inside of me, you better watch out if you ignite me. A road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Loves the blood and gore, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force departed. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Adrenaline pressure, it's stormy weather, lightning, thunder, pouring weather. Yo, I'm a go-getter, try to do it like me, but I do it better. I got a mind that's clever, the beast inside is competitive as ever. I'm conscious, my subconscious, an accomplice to me. I promise the darkness, I can honest believe. But don't cross me, I might lose control of the lost beast. So, he's locked away inside with the key controlled by fight or flight.
Actually made the feature. How many laps you run?
3 maybe.
3?
Yeah.
And the front axle broke. That ended our night.
Look at this. Boneyard will fly with one of Lincoln.
Boneyard approved, boys. Yeah. Come on! Yeah! You got him. Come on, John.
So John just came back from his he came in second. So in the beginning he was leading. Smith came around, gave him a little bit bad wheel, had a hard time passing him. Smith came in fourth. John in second. He's in the end. He does not have to do the beat.
So recap from last night, because we didn't get a chance to. We just thrashed on the car all night, and honestly we didn't have John's trailer as normal and stuff like that, so everything was just kind of a mess for us trying to just get our heads together. You know, and obviously my parents and little brother came out, and that's the first time they've seen the car since last year, so trying to have them remember how to work on the car and everything. It was a hectic night, but we went out there and we did what we had to. Not too happy with the finish. In the main, we ended up finishing 15th, which honestly really sucks. But we ended up losing brakes after a few laps of being out there. I think we boiled the brake fluid in the master. So stuff like that's gonna happen. We're gonna have that issue. It seems like we have nothing but a reoccurring brake issue, but we're gonna try to solve that issue today.
Sign now on the back straightaway out of Ephrata in the Rister Motorsports, the treecenter.com.
See, now this is a perfect time where you want to check your valve when you need to like have the car out on the track.
That's the ideal time. This is a 410 engine here. What do you think the problem is here?
I don't know. We're just going over the valves here, make sure we didn't wipe out a cam lobe. It's a solid roller cam, so just trying to go over it here.
So the engine actually sprayed some oil in here. We did have to wipe the seat off in here.
Well, if it went down a cylinder, that would explain it. The only thing is, what's the oil about? Unless it did it build up and it blew out the... Okay, weekend recap. Clinton County finished 15th. Lost brakes in the main, so he pretty much just drove the car best he could. Finished the race, started 8th and dropped all the way back. It sucks, we lost brakes. It's been an issue that we've been fighting, but at least the caliper didn't ejecto seat, cuz, you know what I'm saying? So at least that worked out. Loaded up the car, took it back home, did some work on it. Pretty much put a whole new brake system on the car, actually. New master, new lines. And we got brakes back, so that's cool. Took it out to port, took it out for heating the motors, you know, kind of just went over stuff again. And then he went out for hot laps, and he did about 3 hot laps, and we were waiting for him to come back in, and he ended up getting pushed back in. And he basically said he shut it down because he heard it not full-blown knocking, but something was rattling. So you saw us running around there in the pits trying to figure out what the heck was going on with the car. And he got out of the car, and we just happened to go over and look in, and there's a whole bunch of oil on the floor pan. So oil came up somewhere, but we went over the whole car, kind of checked it out, and didn't end up really seeing anything until we started pulling spark plugs and found spark plug number 7, which was completely melted, like melted the electrode, the whole 9. So that was our problem child, apparently. So yeah, that's where this video is going to end.
I bring it over to the left. Or right, whatever way you want to look at it. Should be high enough to pull it up. Right-hand clamp, here she goes. There's a 410 sprint car motor.
No oil, eh?
Nope.
I
understand.
Well, the good news is there's no hole in the block. I mean, that's also bad news too, because that means no new motor, but
My bank account thanks me. That'll probably work right there.
in there like swimwear.
Alright, set her down.
Ready?
Yep.
Nice and easy. Oh yeah, I have mastered this release valve.
Oh, they're holding. Stands a little heavier now.
I'm just trying to be as gentle as possible so engine doesn't go.
Yeah.
Play ping pong with it. Throw away. Oh, forgot there's no wheels on it. Oh, daddy. Oh, here's where it's a little uneven. Double foot on it. There we go. In there like swimwear, boss. All right, so 410 motor out of the sprint car. Up next, we're dumping his cousin's 305 in. They'll be up in the next day or two to stuff it in. Hopefully I'll get home from work whenever I get home from work to stuff it together, and the race season isn't over yet. There she is. Well, there you have it. 305 in the car, and it runs. And honestly, runs pretty dang good. So. Started 19th in the feature, got 10, moved up 9. If that ain't hard charge material, I don't know what is. But this time on Boneyard Revivals, trucks break down, dogs run off, politicians lie, and oh yeah, I haven't gotten fired by the boss yet, so I guess that's good. Yeah, it's a mess, like always. Wondering what that noise was. I had the air cleaner lid set here, but yeah, now it should fire up and run good. So yeah, basically got back in there and swapped out our ignition module. It sits under our cap, and here's the old one. As you can see, I found the problem. It's right about there. Yeah, right here. So here's what we're gonna do with this guy. Goodbye. And yeah, we're gonna run the old GM one, and I guarantee you it'll run a lot better and a lot longer. XL, you suck. It still runs pretty good, burns a lot of oil, but the 4.3 wasn't gonna be in it long term anyways. We actually have some frame issues. I'll pull them up for you right here, right now. Unfortunately for the S10 here, I mean, if we really wanted to fix this the right way, we'd basically have to back half the frame, pull the box off and all that. And I just, where we're currently at on the channel and everything else that going on in life right now, it's not going to happen. So basically I'm going to pretty much run this thing till, you know, registration goes out on it, and basically probably park it up. And I don't know, fortunately for the S10, this might be potentially one of the last times you actually see a full-blown video on it. However, I don't think it's going away just yet. It'll still be around. It's not like it's going to the scrapyard tomorrow. But we've got some other ideas going around for it, but we'll figure that out from there. Sorry. So we're currently in Maryland, which is cool. In case if you're wondering what we're doing in Maryland, we're on our way to Bristol, Tennessee, for the last day of Hot Rod Power Tour. Much better. Runs good. Runs good. Makes me happy. All right. We made it. What time is it? Probably late o'clock, like 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock on the dot, not bad. So truck ran good, like I said, 17 minutes early, but truck ran good. Couldn't be any happier with it. Like I said, got a few things to go over on it tomorrow, but time to go get some sleep, maybe a shower, and yeah, we'll catch you bright and early tomorrow morning. know it's official when you finally get the license plate and the sticker. So it wasn't supposed to go on this truck, but in a world of beautiful, pristine cars, be the clapped out pile of garbage. Boneyard Bibles approved.
Oh. Yeah.
You guys gotta come in.
Is that good?
No, it needs to come in more. There you go.
Continue for 8 miles.
Oh, there's Jakey Poo.
It's annoying to me that they couldn't like
Put them together, yeah.
That second pass was ugly. Pretty much jumped it off the line there. I was trying to launch it harder, but I didn't want to launch harder. So that might be our last pass of the day, but it runs way better than what it did a few years ago. So take that as a win.
Yeah.
So review on the day. She's good. Which if you actually convert that to quarter mile, and then you like, there's actually converters online that you can find. This came out to pretty much just about be a like 16.0. So if the weather was right, it was a little cooler, and we have this thing like dialed in, this does have potential to be a 15-second truck. But then our second run here, you can see how badly our time went. It was 11:44 to a 10:308, and our mile per hour was horrendous. We dropped almost, what, 7? No, that was like 5 miles an hour. Honestly, a lot of the reason why our second run was so bad was 2 reasons. One, when I went to leave the line, I didn't get it to rev as high as I wanted it to. I was having it at 2,500 RPM, and it would just push through the brakes. And so when the light turned green, I knew I wasn't going to get, my reaction time wasn't going to be anything, but I figured if I didn't break the beams, I brake stood it harder and then tried to just mash the pedal and then release the brake, and it kind of basically didn't work, honestly, which sucks, but you know, whatever. So basically that's why this one looks so ugly. Like, reaction time's terrible, 60-foot time. I mean, you could see right in the 60-foot time how terrible it was. But honestly, for it, doing the math on it and having pretty much a 16 borderline high 15-second square body Chevy that probably weighs 5,000 pounds, and it's literally a brick. 16.0s, dude, that's badass. So for all the people on the internet telling me that our budget build 350 is junk, and that our you know, our Vortec heads are junk and blah blah blah, whatever, suck it. Go suck it, because I just ran a 16-second pass in my clapped out square body Chevy. So I'm gonna go celebrate with a beer, and you all have a great day. All right, around the flashlight for you. Look in here on your pinion gear, you have your GM stamping. You see where it says the ratio 937? You take your 37, you divide it by your 9, and the 37 divided by 9 comes out to be 4.11 repeating. So what does that mean? This is indeed a limited slip slash posi rear end with not 410 gears, but 411s, which is honestly kind of bitchin'.
Oh.
Perfect. So one of the things I wanted to go over here for you quick was how to identify a 7.5 to an 8.5, at least the tricks that I know. One of the big ones is the side, like how the actual pumpkin or diff, where the diff cover goes, looks. Then also, if you look down at the bottom here, you see how these are like fang type, how they're very sharp. This usually indicates that it's a 7.5. Usually the 8.5s will actually come out flat and then come across. The only thing that I can say here is it looks like this was indefinitely machined, not cut out. But yeah, usually if I put my finger there, all that material that's gone there, there would usually be casted there, and it would come down. Instead of being fanged like this, it would actually come out and be a 90 and come across. That's usually how you tell the difference between a 7.5 and an 8.5, at least from all the research that I've done. So with these being fang-like, it would suggest that this should be a 7.5. Between that and the shape of the diff cover or the pumpkin per se, that would also identify it too. I will throw up photos of where I got this research from to kind of show you guys what it looks like. So if you have something at home that looks like this, you can determine what it is based upon you know, the identification ways to, well, yeah, you know, the ways to identify it. Something interesting that I found. So I found out two things. First thing in this video that we found out is that transmission is actually, I'm pretty sure it's a turbo 350. It's not a 200 4R like I initially thought it was, just by the design of the pan and the fact that when I looked at the gear selector when I was in there, that it didn't have enough gears to actually have an overdrive. So it was only a 3-speed forward gear transmission. But we did confirm something about our rear end, and I'm going to show you right here, right now. So if I can get these to focus, really, really hard to see here, but it's got some numbers right here. That's a 22, and that is a 47. So if you pull out your calculator here, and you do 47 divided by the 22, yeah, you see what that number comes out to be? Go ahead, do the math. Do it. Pull out your calculator. Pause the video if you got to, if you're watching on your mobile device. Go ahead, do the math. 47 divided by 22, what is it? If you came up with something on the lines of 2.136 and then a bunch of other numbers, you, my friend, are correct. This is indeed the original rear end out of this car, and it's got 214 gears in it. And it's sad, and it's depressing. And in case if you're also wondering, yep, that's an open diff, boys and ladies. Didn't want to leave you out there. But yeah, everything about that is sad and depressing, and it needs to go away. And when I say go away, go in that so I can still move that around, but no good. It all needs to just disappear. Another thing I wanted to mention too here while we're here, in case you're deciding to do this at home, or you feel a little disencouraged, it's really not that hard. Basically, the way that your axle hangs in here is you have your two upper control arm mounts, and then your two lower ones that go on the lower part of the axle, your shocks. And then as far as your springs go, they literally just get compressed between the axle and that bushing there and just kind of slide in. So basically that you have your rear brake line that you need to disconnect when you go to pull it, and then also your brake cable, which I don't have vehicles that even have functional brake cables, so that's why it's not that big of a deal for me. But yeah, as far as it goes with these axles, your two front ones just tie in here, and then your lower ones, your lower control arms, again, bolt in here, and there's just a bolt and a nut. Again, another bolt and nut, and bolt and nut. And that's what controls, you know, side to side, up and down motion, stuff like that. Your springs sit here, and then your brake line ties in up here, and bolt right here, actually. And then your shocks tie in right back here. So it's really not that hard to get them out, honestly. Honestly, the hardest thing is getting them back in, because you have to align everything up and get it up in the car. But besides that, it's not too bad. All right, so we're gonna let her down for the first time. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little freaked out, just because we don't know nothing about this rear end. I kind of double checked everything and went over everything and whatnot, and it looked good. And man, does this car sit lower now? No, I might have always sat that low. Seems lower. How's the shocks? So the combination here, I kept the gas shocks that were in the original axle with this car, because it seems like that they're upgraded, but I did use the springs that was with our 411 axle out of the race car. Well, we don't have a good trans, but let's just say heck it and go to spend some freedom, eh? Well, there you have it. We swapped out our 7.5 with 214 gears for a 7.5 with 411 limited slip, and she does burnouts. Good. The sad thing is, though, is if some of you caught it or not, there's still one single issue. Still only one tire. Hey, so it's a few weeks later, we're here with Black Betty, and I realized something. It is straight up simply messed up to go through all this work and promise you 411 posi burnouts and not give that to you to end off this video. So let's go back out and do another one. Rear end works. Now it's time for the motor and trans to see you later. Banging my cherry picker off my nice clean 5-drawer tool cart. You didn't.
I didn't.
Okay, let's see how you make it down the hallway. No pressure. No, oh, she made it. She made it through doorway 1. Can she make it through doorway 2? Too narrow. You need help? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll help you then.
Stop being mean to me.
I think we're ready to pull this out. You don't think I am, do you? Oh, trust me, I know. It's going to be interesting. What do you think I forgot to disconnect? No, I got the starter wire. Yeah, the motor mounts are out. Or the bolts, anyways. They should just come right out. See how it goes. Hopefully she picks nice. Let's see what connected. That's not connected. Look pretty Gucci. You're pretty much almost there, actually. What if I... Okay. Okay. This is the exhaust. Oh. Okay. 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 Not the way I wanted to do this, boys. Definitely not the way I intended this one going. That could have went a lot better. It also could have went a lot worse. But the job's done. That's all that matters. 307 and TH250, I think that's what we've been calling that. Officially out of the street and strip Cutlass. How about that? For you guys trying to do this at home, have another person here. Kira abandoned me, I guess, for whatever reason. That's something that you wanted to say.
I did not abandon him.
What did you do then?
I went upstairs with the dog, in which he laid down on the couch, and I was like, what is your problem? And then he was ready to go back outside, so I went to the bathroom, and then my brother called, and he called like multiple times, so I picked it up thinking it was important, and then he kept me on the phone for an hour.
Okay, so she has a valid excuse at least. So she didn't abandon me, but I still have the footage of you walking out of the garage and then not coming back, so. Let's go ahead and take a look at the instant replay. As you can see here, it definitely looks like the player stepped out of bounds, most indefinitely abandoning the teammate. We'll send it over to our correspondent, Jake.
Yeah, Rob, if you can watch this tape right here, if you watch right about now, she steps out of bounds, and that's going to be a wasted timeout. I would have never thrown that challenge flag. That's just a bad call right there.
You didn't wait for me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. At least didn't drop the hood on the windshield. You did a good job there. Thank you for your help.
It's the last time you're getting it.
He abandoned us. That's what happened there. And it's a hydraulic roller, baby. Check that out. That is awesome. Damn. That is really neat. And that explains actually why it honestly probably runs so good. With it being a hydraulic roller, it's going to have more of that, you know, the cam lift is going to be a little bit drastic because of the way that the cam lobe is compared to a hydraulic flat tappet. So that explains why these, like this engine specifically, is very torquey, and honestly runs at, as good as it does down low. That's pretty neat. From our water pump down here on our block, we actually have another casting number there, and we'll decipher that one as well. So just by looking at this number here, all of this does matter. The last 6, if they match up to the VIN code of the last 6 digits of the car, this is the original engine to the car, and then the first 3 here, that looks like an F3 and a P or an R. The 3 is going to stand for Oldsmobile out of the divisions of General Motors. F, from what I saw, would be the stamp code for the year. In the 80s, they actually changed from a number system to a letter system. So, you know, if 1980 was, you know, year number 1, it'd be A, 1981 would be B, 82 C. So F would indicate 85, which makes sense for the year of the car, also the year of the engine. If that's a P or an R, if it's an R, it would make a lot of sense. If it's a P, I'm not exactly sure what it is. If that was an R, that would be stamp code that this engine was produced in Arlington, Texas, from the Arlington, Texas GM plant. If it's P, I have no idea. I wasn't able to track down a plant that they used the code P for. Also back here, if I'm not mistaken, we have some more numbers back here. That is a 56, and if I'm not mistaken, that 56 should be stamped for the days, for what day of the year it was. Which, if that's the case, this engine was made on February 25th, 1985, potentially in Arlington, Texas. And as far as I know, for this being in 1985, this is one of the first roller blocks. So pretty interesting stuff just on what you can pick up on serial numbers. But I hope that stuff's somewhat accurate. Just from all the information that I found, that was the best way to kind of identify everything. And honestly, that one stamping doesn't, it honestly looks more like a P than it does an R, so it's probably not from Arlington, Texas. But either way, yeah, we just walked out here and looked at our VIN code, which is on our front windshield here, and confirmed that is the original numbers matching 307 Oldsmobile to this car. Kind of cool. That means she's original. That's pretty much as far as I really want to get into it. There's no reason to tear it down any farther than this. You know, I don't know what my full game plans are for this engine yet, if I'm being 100% honest. Alrighty, so there you have it. There's our partial teardown on our 5-liter 307 Oldsmobile here that came out of our 1985 Cutlass, otherwise known as Black Betty. Yeah, this thing's in great shape. I don't want to do anything drastic with it quite yet. I had some ideas on what I thought I could put this in, and honestly, it's a good foundation for something, you know. And honestly, if I found something that just needed an engine that this could slide into, I would consider doing that. And or the original idea was, as I know we've mentioned it before on the channel before, our 1983 Chevy S10. We were initially gonna, you know, do some work on that, and that was supposed to be like a budget build, cheap muscle truck, something that you could, you know, that you could do for your kid, or that you and your kid could build together at home. And we kind of walked away from that for a little while because the back part of the frame is really ugly. But we're working out some of the logistics and the backgrounds behind the scenes to try to figure out how we can basically save that. So there's a good chance we'll be back halving the frame to, you know, and then continuing on with the other work that we were going to do to that truck. Part of that deal was I really wanted to V8 swap it, which is kind of why, you know, the whole idea for this, now that this is free and available, would kind of be cool. But the motor mounts are going to be different, and I don't know how I would make it work with the headers. If I can use the you know, original manifolds with the downpipe, and a downpipe came in a good enough spot, you know, on the truck where we just tie in and just keep the, you know, the original, you know, manifolds and downpipe, that'd be kind of slick. But I don't know how it's going to work with the oil pan and, you know, the engine mounts, where it would just be a lot easier to do it with some sort of other engine, some sort of Chevy engine, which there's thoughts and plans in the background for that, to do that initially. But I just, like I said, I haven't fully decided what I want to do yet. It would be cool to reuse this engine and put this engine in something. It's definitely not going to go to waste. We'll probably, you know, put everything, you know, bolt everything back on it and set it off in the corner for now. But we will eventually find something else to slide this in. There's a really good base for an engine here. I just want to take a moment to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you somehow managed to find yourself to actually watch all like 50 minutes to an hour of this video, hats off to you, seriously. because I know how hard it is to watch that long of a video, and that's something that we've been playing with on long form content. But I always like doing these type of videos at the end or at the beginning of every new year, just to kind of recap everything that we did last year. Not only does I think it give a really good idea for a new viewer who sees that video on what we kind of do on this channel, but what it also does for me, it gives me an idea of, you know, I can look back in one video and see everything that we've accomplished together in the past year. And I do have to say 2023 was a really awesome year. And I just wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for, you know, anyone who's ever watched the video, subscribed, liked the video, commented on a video, and basically has become a part of the family that we're trying to build here and part of this community. This is something that I have always longed to do, and something that I hold truly and dear to my heart, because one day I would love to be able to do this for you guys week in and week out, and have this be my full-time 9-to-5 job, not have to go work a 9-to-5 job and then have this on the side. My one goal one day is to build up a big enough community of people that are sharing love, passion, excitement, knowledge on all this old school automotive stuff, because this is truly something that is super important to us guys that are motorheads. This is something that is a culture, it's a livelihood, it's something that's super important to try to preserve, and I want to try to be one of the younger guys that holds the torch for the next generation, because I understand how important some of this stuff is. It's amazing how a piece of metal, you know, that's bolted and welded and, you know, pieced together can create such an atmosphere and a community, and it's just insane to when you start wrapping your mind around what vehicles mean to us and what type of, you know, community we have and share because of it. So with that being said, I've come to the realization too, looking over the last year, 2023 was an awesome year for us, but I realized that you know, there was times between me working my full-time job and with family matters and whatnot, there was some content that I had to kind of pull out of a hat, just because I wanted to stay consistent for you guys. Consistency is one of the things that I truly believe that for me to be successful and to keep you guys engaged and interested in what we're trying to do here, I want to take that responsibility legitimately and as serious as possible, because I think there's a face value of me showing up every other week and providing you guys with some sort of content. But one of the realizations I did have is that we've had a lot of projects kind of slip under the back burner over the past year just because life got in the way. And something that I really want to work hard and get together for you guys coming up in 2024 is we have a bunch of new projects coming in, but we also need to get back to the basics. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about my dad's 77 Chevy Impala, and I know a lot of you guys have been asking about our 1983 Chevy K10, the green truck as we like to call it. Those vehicles themselves, I know how interested you guys are. I know how big our engine build videos were for us on this channel. Those are all things coming up in 2024 that I really want to get back to. My goal for 2024 is I want 2024 to be the year that Boneyard Revivals is on the map, where we're actually somebody in the automotive YouTube community. So if you guys can help me make that happen, that would be awesome. I know I'm going to be working my butt off trying to give you the best content possible, and thank you guys so much. 2024 is looking to be a really big year for us. So spread the word, share the channel, share some videos that you like, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. So thank you if you could do that for me. And like I said, a lot of big stuff coming up in 2024. We're actually officially, Boneyard Revivals is officially an LLC. We're actually a business now. We're looking into setting up a website with merchandise. I want to start getting some t-shirts and sweatshirts and some of that kind of stuff for any of you guys that would be interested in that. And we're going to try to be at a bunch of events this year too. Power Tour I know is a big one, and I want to go to Power Tour in the biggest way, and we have a vehicle that we're in the background's getting set up and ready. There's also a chance, I'm not going to guarantee nothing, that you'll see 2 brand new project vehicles on Power Tour this year. Potentially. I'm not going to set it in stone, but there's potential for 2 brand new project vehicles that you have not seen being put together and built on the channel and going on Power Tour for this year in 2024. And that's something that I realized too with, you know, my job last year where I only went down for the 1 day. Power Tour is that one thing for me a year that's like, this is the big thing, this is my home run, we're swinging for the fences. And in 2022 we killed that with specifically that truck. And so I want to get back to that type of content for you guys. I want to start creating that stuff because that is the core and backbone of Boneyard Revivals, is fixing old clapped out junk like that and doing the absolute unthinkable with it. With that being said, once again, I can't say it enough to you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support that you have shown me and my family here at Boneyard Revivals year after year. And let's make 2024 the biggest year for Boneyard Revivals yet. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2024. Burnout fist bump? Yeah, cool. Burnouts.